don't know if any of us have ever been before a judge. Anybody? Okay. It's rough. Especially if you're guilty. It's pretty rough. I don't think many of us really know what it's like to stand before a judge innocent, though. I don't know what it's like to stand before a judge innocent. I don't remember a time like that. There was a man, though, who was sent before a judge. And people, they bound his hands and they brought him. And you've heard many people speak about him. I'm not going to be mysterious. I'm talking about Jesus. I don't mean to be mysterious. Please, listen. We'll get there. So anyway, this man, Jesus, is brought before the judge. And everyone's like, okay, this man's guilty. Let's see what the judge has to say. And the judge questioned him and found nothing wrong with the man. And he goes to the crowd and he says, I find no fault in this man. What would you have of him? And they said, kill him, kill him, kill him. And when he pled with them, he said, listen, I see no wrong that this man has done. And they screamed all the more, crucify him. You know what? Don't just kill him. We have a specific way we want him to die. Crucify him. And so he's tortured and beat on his way to the cross, marred beyond recognition. And I'm not trying to make you shed a tear because some guy got beat up. There's more. There's more to understanding what this is. So we have this innocent man who goes to die. And the people that hated him most, they showed up to watch him die. They showed up to watch him die, and they looked at him, and they said, you claim to be the Son of God. We saw you heal the blind. We saw you give the ability for those who couldn't walk. You gave them the ability to walk. We saw you raise the dead. We saw you perform miraculous things, but you can't even save yourself. They mocked him and jeered him, and they said, we saw the great things you did, but look, you can't even help yourself. And one of the things that's recorded that they said is, you saved others, but you can't save yourself. And I don't think those people knew what they were saying. See, the thing is that since the beginning of man, we've had this problem where God has made us and designed us to honor and obey Him. But we don't do that. We don't. Naturally, we don't want to, and I think we all know that. I know that. We don't want to. We don't care what His rules are. We don't care what your character is. I just want to go and live my own way. And God saw how terrible we were. You know, because people cried out, probably as you're crying out now, and they said, save yourself. Why are you wasting your life away like this? They cried out and said, save yourself. They cried out that thing because none of us are selfless in that way. We know not selflessness. We know not service. We know not honor, obedience, none of these things. We're just a wretched, wicked group of people, all of us alike. The rich, the poor, the young, the old, white, black, I don't care what it is. There's an equality that falls upon us in regards to our need. But there all of us stood in a similar way and looked at God and we mocked Him. And some of you think, yeah, Jesus was a great guy, nice guy, not the Son of God. He had no power because look, He died. He died. He got put on a cross because some Romans and some Jews put Him up there. And let me tell you this, that cry that they yelled out, you saved others, but you can't save yourself, is so true. It's so true. Because God sent His Son into this world for people like us. For people like us that cannot be good enough to have a relationship with Him. That cannot do enough to earn His love. That could never earn just the slightest bit of God's goodness. Because He knew that we were so unable that He said, I will send my Son. I will send my Son to go and pay for the crimes that they have committed themselves. So God took all the things that He sees inside of us that are wretched and terrible, and that all of us alike deserve to be put on a cross just like that, and then to be sent to hell. Not just to be punished like that, and then to go and be with God, but to be punished like that, and then to be sent to hell. But instead, he sent his son, who all men knew and saw his innocence. No one could find any fault in him because he was perfect and blameless. And God laid him up on a tree. And God said, if I am to show any love to people like us, I won't show any love to my son. If I'm to show any mercy to people like us, I will show no mercy to my son. And I tell you this, he didn't save himself because he was willing to save people like us. He stayed upon that cross. Oh, and how I bet he was tempted when we cried out and said, stop wasting your time. Stop wasting your time. Little did they know that he was doing the work of saving them in that moment. Can you imagine trying to help somebody and they're screaming at you and kicking you and saying, stop trying to help me? But you understand their need. That is what God did. He came to us. He saw our need, and yet we said, I don't want it. But he still went. And he still went to that cross and was faithful up until the point of death, to die the death that we could never die. But I tell you this, guys, if anything you hear tonight, I want you to hear this. God has completely done the work because you could not, and it is a free gift. I'm not telling you to do anything. I don't want you to go pray this prayer that I would tell you to pray, or to go do this, or go to church, or this or that. I tell you to go to the only one who can save man, which is God, and go to him. All who seek him will find him and call upon him who will near. This next song is called East to West. Thank you for listening.